Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, we heard Cantor. If you could find your seats, please. Find your seats. Wonderful. Okay, with family seated. Okay, let's try again. Ready? Shabbat Shalom. Pretty good. By the way, this side was much better than this side. Let's try this again. Shabbat Shalom this side. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. One more. Shabbat Shalom. Wow.
Okay,
Wow. Okay, good. Pretty good. Pretty good. It is a wonderful, wonderful morning to be here together to pray, to connect, to commune, to celebrate a Benot mitzvah, a double bat mitzvah, to worship together. And the charge that I'm going to put to everybody this morning is we do everything that we're going to do this morning with emet, with truth. We're going to pray with truth. We're going to speak with truth. We're going to connect with truth. Okay? So, a couple housekeeping things as we get going. If you'll turn your cell phones off, that would be great. If you get a call in the middle of the service, I answer it. Okay? But you still your Apple Watches, please. If we need to leave quickly for whatever reason, it's good to know where the exits are. This is my stewardess impression. There, and behind us if we need be. If you reach under your seat, you're going to find this red prayer book. Would everybody reach under their seat now for that prayer book? If by chance you don't have a red prayer book under your seat, look to the seat next to you. So, this is a highly participatory service. Highly participatory. On the right of any page, just about any page, you're going to see the Hebrew. On the left, you're going to see the English. And in the middle, you're going to see the transliteration. Meaning, everybody should be able to participate in some way. If the language isn't familiar to you, if the tune of the prayer is not familiar to you, whatever it may be, tap, snap, clap, la la la. God understands la 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 just fine. But here's the reality. We all are a mirror, and these two amazing young women are mirrors as well. And the light that you shine to them, the energy you give to them, is going to be reflected right back to you and back to them and back to you, like back and forth, okay? So it's really important that we participate as much as we can. If you have a reading, okay, everybody's taken the readings, that's great. So if you have a reading during the service, you're going to come right over here to this microphone and stand here, and this way you can address the bat mitzvah, the banot mitzvah, and do your reading. Clear? Good? Okay. If you have an aliyah, or you're going up to open the ark or to address the Torah, then you'll come up onto the bima. All right? So, with that, we have Marin and Molly and Cantor Lauren Adesnik and Rabbi Spike Anderson. Please take a moment, turn to the people around you. Hi, my name is Shabbat Shalom, not just the people you know, the people you don't know, Tim Collins. Said to Marin and Molly about this day, and I'm gonna put this challenge to everybody here. It's not about doing anything perfect. Really, nobody's perfect except for my wife. Nobody else is perfect, okay? Perfect is not the objective. The objective is to connect in a real way to something bigger than you, and this is for everybody. Can you connect to your parents and your ancestors? Can you connect to your Torah portion? The Torah itself? Can you connect to this Jewish mission that we have of Tikkun Olam, taking the world from where it is to where it needs to be? Can you connect to God? Can you connect to your soul? That's the benchmark for the morning, okay? Not perfection. And so we ask everybody here to be open to that as well. The objective is to connect to something profound. In the next 90 minutes or so, both of you are going to go from being amazing Jewish girls to amazing young Jewish women before our eyes. Poof, okay? This is a rite of passage, and there's signposts along the way. One of the signposts is the tallis. And as I'm speaking, I'm going to call up Andrea Levy and Laura Beth Summerfield, as well as Dottie Justy and Jerry Summerfield. Come on up. So according to the tradition, yesterday or before yesterday, last month, step right over here, you were not allowed to, you're going to stand right up here, and you're going to stand right like here. You were not allowed to publicly wear your tallis because it is something that is done only for adults. But today, right there, that's fine. Actually, let's do this. Come on down. Yep. Okay. You two are going to stand just like this. Excellent. Okay, take a step forward. So, today you are presented with your tallis. And in being presented with your tallis, this is an outward sign of being a Jewish adult in the community. And you'll wear your tallis when you are at Jewish worship. Okay? So, we're going to have each of the different groups present, and I'm going to make sure that this is on. Okay, so here we go.
As As this talit is draped around your shoulders, may the voices of the generations speak to you. May you know that there is a people, a rich heritage to which you belong, a sacred place from which you are connected to all who dwell on earth.
As this talit is draped around your shoulders, as you are embraced in the folds of this talit, so too are you wrapped in the loving embrace. You're supposed to read with me. Of your family. Read, Jerry. Community and this holy congregation. May the simplest of garments always be for you a symbol of God's abiding and sheltering presence.
Continue.
As you recite the blessing and wrap yourself in this talit, we proudly watch and celebrate with you as you accept your place in the chain of our tradition.
Okay, now, first, Molly, you're going to read the blessing for the talit right there.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lechitatef batzitzit.
And we're going to drape talit around. Beautiful. Okay, Maren. Read the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lechitatef batzitzit.
Beautiful. We're going to drape the tallis. Okay, now stay right up here. You have some words you want to share?
Molly. Lador Vador means from generation to generation. Typically, it is understood that to mean the transmission of the cultures, values, rituals, traditions, and history to the next generation.
Grandma taught us how to be Jewish women, to carry on our traditions and pass them along to our children. This talit represents her sitting on your shoulders, hugging you tight as you become an adult in our Jewish community. Wear this with pride as you learn, grow, and become the Jewish woman you are meant to be. We love you.
Beautiful. And they're going to say something too. Okay. You ready?
Maren, we are so proud of you and all you've accomplished. Today brings a new chapter in your life.
May all that you have learned help lead you and guide you forward. Never, ever lose your sense of joy, your infectious smile, your gentleness, and know, just as this talit surrounds your shoulders, we and all the generations of our families before us will always be there with you forever. We love you.
We love you.
Beautiful. Okay. Wow, I'm going to cry. Okay. So this is what I'd like to do. Girls, will you come step this way, turn out this way, put your arms around each other, put your arms around. Friends, we know that families come together for all sorts of reasons, sometimes sad. This one, super happy. Super happy. And we Jews, when we know we're experiencing a certain type of time, we pray our Shehechianu prayer. Literally, thank you, God, for this moment of time that we're here, that we're together. And may we have this type of holiness again and again and again. Please join us on page 5, Shehechianu. Squeeze, a hug, and a kiss. You all can have your seats. you're going to lead us on page 6.
God be with me on this occasion of my bat mitzvah. Help me make meaningful the covenant you now establish with me. Sustain me with a sense of holiness, inspire in me a desire to be special. I do not ask that you make my life easy, resolve my problems, map out the directions of my life. I ask only that you strengthen within me the desire to mold and shape my life in accordance with your will. In this hour of my bat mitzvah, I invoke your blessings upon my parents and friends and all who had loved and cared for me and have brought me to this time of gladness. Give them joy and fulfillment in my growth and in my achievement. You who turn the hearts of children to their parents and the hearts of parents to their children.
Wonderful. Okay. So in a moment, our mitzvah are going to lead us on page 7 for Nasim B'chol Yom, Daily Miracles. And if you open to page 7, you'll see that each of these are supposed to be taken both literally and figuratively. So when we are praying and thanking the divine for opening the eyes of or allowing the blind to see, as a for instance, we could be literally saying thank you for the technology and the medicine that allows people who are blind some people to see, but also it's a figurative, right? That it can sometimes takes a miracle for those around us to see the reality or the truth, or sometimes it's us who need to see that. So the tradition is after each one that they're going to chant, we say Amen together. And then at the end of their chanting, I want you to turn back and pick which one of these has your name on it this morning. Which one of these blessings is speaking to you as if I might walk around and call on you to share with the whole congregation. Okay? So please do pay attention. Page 7, whenever you're ready.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lesech bina, v'chavin ben yom u'ben layla.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokei al hivrim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, sokev kefufim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, rokach haaretz al hamayim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin metzadei gaver.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten li'af'ef koach.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hama'avir shemat me'enai, u'numa me'achapai.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, sh'asani b'tzel Elohim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, sh'asani bat chorim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, sh'asani Yisrael.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael b'gvura.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael b'tifarah.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'aseh b'divrei Torah.
Amen. Beautifully done, beautifully led. Take a moment, everybody. Please turn back and see which one of these is most speaking to you this morning and why. Anybody want to share? Sid? Thanks. Tell us who you are.
I'm Sydney. I'm Molly's sister,
Okay.
and the one that speaks to me is who crowns Israel with glory.
And why does that speak to you this morning?
Because I have a very special connection to Israel, and I'm very excited for Molly and Marin to one day go to Israel and have that same connection.
Beautiful. And it's not, of course, just the nation, state of Israel, it's the people of Israel, which is us, the Jews. Wonderful. Others? Summerfield family. Anybody here want to share? All right, Laura Beth. Tell us who you are.
I'm Laura Beth Summerfield, Marin's mom. The one that speaks to me is, blessed are you, the eternal our God, who has made me a Jew.
And why does that speak to you this morning?
Because we're here today to celebrate that very thing, and it warms my heart to know that we're Jewish and continuing the tradition.
Yeah, beautiful. Others who want to share. Great, okay. Libby, tell us who you are.
There we go. I'm Libby Pollock, and the one that speaks to me today is, blessed are you, the eternal our God, who makes firm each person's steps. And during this last week that has been overwhelming, I just had to keep telling myself, just keep taking one step at a time, and so that speaks to me this morning.
Yeah, and sometimes life gets hard enough that we need something from the outside to help prop us up, and that's that idea. We have more than just our internal strength. Others. I love how the eye contact just goes away as I'm moving towards people. Okay, anybody over on this side want to share? Okay, great. Tell us who you are.
I'm Lee Greenberg. I'm Molly's grandmother.
Okay.
And the part that speaks to me is, blessed are you, the eternal our God, who brings freedom to the captive.
Why does that speak to you?
Because my parents were Holocaust survivors, and it brings to mind Ukraine.
And can you imagine what they were? The fact that we're here now and they were where they are truly is miraculous on every level. Yeah, wonderful. Others? Someone on this side? Anybody want to share? Which one of these is speaking to you this morning? Want to share? Yeah, okay. Anybody over here? Okay. Rob, tell us who you are.
Oh, I'm Rob Disner, and what am I, the first man here? Anyway, we liked Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who makes firm each person's steps, because Marion's grandfather is 93, and he came right down those steps.
Yeah.
Like a pro.
Yeah.
Did a great job.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. Ken, tell us who you are.
I'm Ken Klein. I'm grandfather to both Molly and Marin.
Bless you.
And the one that struck me here is, blessed are you, the eternal God, who has made me to be free and made us all to be free, to worship, to love, and to enjoy our family.
That's beautiful. Cantor, you want to share which one's speaking to you this morning?
Oh, which one speaks to me this morning? It's the very last blessing. The Tzivanu Asok B'divrei Torah, because that blessing, it really is a blessing that stands on its own. La'asok comes from the root Ayin Samech Kuf, which means busy or business. And I always love that we are commanded to become holy through this idea. It's translated as engaging, but it's really for making ourselves busy with Torah. And what does that really mean? It means that all of the time, we should be engaged in God's Torah, in living God's Torah, and allowing that emanation of God to come through us.
Beautiful.
How about you, Rabbi?
Oh, jeez. For me, today is my 50th birthday today, and there's nothing I would rather do than be here on my 50th birthday. And I think that for me, it's the blessed are you, eternal God, who stretches the earth over the waters. There's such an amazement that I have that we are able to be here and do, and all this is just it's ours, and it's for us to strive and love and connect, and there's a sense of gratitude that comes with that. Thank you for asking. All right, let's continue on page 13. Molly, you're going to lead us responsively, which means that when we see the italics, we all join in and send that energy back to her.
May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for fellowship.
Together, may it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit indifference, selfishness, and harshness.
May this synagogue be for all who enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. We are warmed up. We rise for Baruch, page 15. Page 15, we have Yotzer Or. And Molly, you're going to lead us in Yotzer Or in a moment, but we're all going to join in. And Molly and Marin, Yotzer Or is a prayer that we say thanking God for creation. And not just the one-time creation, because that can be a lot to get your head around, but the fact that we are able to wake up every morning and recreate ourselves and our surroundings by the choices that we make. What we do with our time, how we speak to others, how we walk through the world, how we engage. We are not locked into the patterns of yesterday or yesteryear, and that's a hugely empowering belief that in our daily prayers, Judaism asks us to line eyes, to raise up. So when you're ready, on page 15, please lead us in Yotzer Or.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam,
Yotzer Or uvarei choshen, osei shalom uvarei et hakol.
Hameir haaretz veladarim, alecha brachamim u'tuvot, mechadesh b'chol yom tamid, ma'aseh reshit. Marabu ma'asecha Adonai kulam, b'chokhmah asita ma'alav haaretz kinyanecha. Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al sheva ma'aseh yadecha b'ma'oret, osh asita yafa'arucha selah. Or chadash al Tzion Tayir, v'niskeh kulanu, mehiret le'oro, baruch atah Adonai yotzer ha'me'orot.
Amen.
Beautiful. And on page 16, Marin, you're going to lead us in Ahava Rabbah, which translates as God's abundant love. And there's this idea, of course, that in the very long list, this goes for both of you, it goes for all of us, in the very long list of people who really love us, and you can look out here and you can see lots of people who really, really love you. You go ahead and give them a wave when their eyes meet yours, right? Let them feel the love, right? That in this long list of people who love you, okay, that God is part of the list. That God is part of, whether first or in the middle or last or maybe just interwoven all along. So Marin, will you lead us on page 16 about God's abundant love?
Ahava Rabbah Ahavtanu Adonai Eloheinu Hemlach Gedolah B'Tera Hamalta Elenu Ba'avur Avotenu V'Imotenu Shabbathu Lacha Batlam Dame Ukei Hayim Kain Techonenu Utlamdenu Hamrahem Rahem Alenu V'Tain Belibenu Lechavin Uhaskil Lishmoach Leomod Ulilmade Lishmor Bala'asot Ulkayim Et Kol Divrei Talmud Tortecha Ba'ahava Baruch Ata Adonai Habocher Ba'amo Yisrael Ba'ahava.
Amen. And we all get ready for our Shema, which you'll find on page 18. You're going to lead us in our Via Hafta prayer on page 18.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha v'veitecha u'vlechtecha v'aderet u'shoftecha v'kumecha u'shartam leot al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha Uvtaftam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim Liot lachem Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem Emet.
I'd like to invite up Kim and Steve Cohn to come on up to our choir mic on the floor and lead us in our prayer on page 19. You're going to go right to those mics right there. Yeah.
Adonai, our God, you took us out of slavery in Egypt. You made us free.
Together, you were in the courage with which we overcame 40 years of desert wandering.
Even today, you are in the hope that, like a beam of light, brightens the darkness of suffering and despair.
You are in the love that creates, protects, forgives.
Standing at the sea, we felt your goodness and your love, and we sang a new song to you. And still today, we sing that song.
We praise you, Adonai, Redeemer of Israel. Micha Mocha, page 20.
Mincha Uvidechenu umecha, Yehuda veYisrael. Go'aleinu Adonai tzvaot shemo, Kedosh Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
We join in singing what the Israelites proclaimed after they had successfully crossed the sea, and we find in their redemption the strength to seek our own. This struggle carries us into the Amidah, a prayer of becoming, of transformation, of divine human partnership that brings grace into our lives and into our world. Page 21. So we're going to turn.
Adonai sefer tiftach ufi tehillatcha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'Ma'an Shemo v'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim v'chesed, Mechayei hakol v'rachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Nichamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech mimid, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atal hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol.
I'd like to invite up Marin's great aunt and uncle, Kathy and Al Hattendorf, to come on up and lead us on page 23.
Many are the ways of holiness, varied are its paths.
There is holiness when we strive to be true to the best we know.
There is holiness when we are kind to others.
There is holiness when we strive for harmony in all of our relationships.
There is holiness when people of different backgrounds work together for a common future.
There is holiness when people seek justice and struggle for righteousness.
There is holiness when people create lasting poetry or song or philosophy.
There is holiness when we forget what divides us and remember what unites us.
Holy, holy, holy is Adonai, our God.
Kiddushah, page 24.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמעתי שמו טוב ישמי מרום, ככתוב היד נביאך, וקרא זה על זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. Adir, adirenu, Adonai, Adonenu, Avinu Malkeinu, Moshienu Behu Yashmienu, Berachamav Le'nei Kol Chai. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Imloch Adonai le'olam, Elohai Yitzyon, L'dor vador. Hallelujah. This next part, repeat after me. L'dor vador.
L'dor vador.
L'dor vador.
L'dor vador.
L'dor vador. Nagid lacha. L'dor vador.
L'dor vador.
L'dor vador.
L'dor vador.
L'dor vador. Nagid kor lacha. Ki el-melech gadol, gadol v'kadosh, gadol v'kadosh ata. Ki el-melech gadol, gadol v'kadosh, gadol v'kadosh ata. Here comes your part. L'dor vador.
L'dor vador.
L'dor vador.
L'dor vador. L'dor vador. Nagid lecha.
L'dor vador.
L'dor vador.
L'dor vador.
L'dor vador.
L'dor vador. Nagid kor lecha. Ki el-melech gadol, gadol v'kadosh, gadol v'kadosh ata. Ki el-melech gadol, gadol v'kadosh, gadol v'kadosh ata. Baruch atah Adonai.
Baruch Shemo.
Ha'el HaKadosh.
Amen. Please be seated. On page 25, Marin, will you lead us responsively?
From of old, the Jewish people have seen Shabbat as a unique gift, a token of its covenant with God.
Together, Shabbat is the most cherished creation of the Jewish spirit. It mirrors the essence of the Jewish soul.
Shabbat has never been merely a day of rest from labor. It has always been a break of it in the routine of everyday life.
Shabbat is a symbol of liberation and triumph, of the holy over the profane, of spirit over matter.
In every age, Shabbat afforded the Jew a sacred retreat, a haven of its safety, a fountain of new strength and perpetual renewal.
Shabbat nurtures family life in love and harmony. A home at peace welcomes Shabbat with joy.
Shabbat is a part of nature's design, a very purpose of creation. All that was created attained its fulfillment in Shabbat.
Shabbat is our hope, the calm haven where all the weary find rest. With the coming of Shabbat, redemption and peace enter the world. Yismechu, page 26. Invite up Tracy and Al Cohn to lead us on page 27.
Our world is full of wonders and miracles, but all it takes is one little hand placed before our eyes and we see nothing.
But miracles are all around us and within us. We are each walking miracles.
When we are bruised, what miracle heals us? When we see beauty, what miracle elevates us? When we hear music, what miracle moves us?
When we see suffering, what miracle saddens us? When we give and receive love, what miracle warms us? When we pray, what miracle renews us?
Every springtime is a miracle. Every snowflake is a miracle. The thoughts we think, the words we speak, the hopes we cherish, each is a miracle.
For all these miracles, may your name be exalted and blessed forever and ever. And to lead us on page 28, Mary and Brad Hattendorf, will you come on up? And you'll lead us responsively on page 28.
Our God, we know there is no greater gift than peace. Help us to find the peace that comes from the love of your Torah.
Inspire us to banish hatred, war, bloodshed, and bigotry. Help us to establish forever one human family, doing your will in love and peace.
Help us to find peace in ourselves and among all people. O God of peace, bless us with peace.
You have given us the power, O God, to bring peace and justice into the world. May we always love peace and pursue it, and love our fellow creatures. Fill us with kindness, wisdom, and love. Then shall we learn to live in peace. Blessed is God, teacher of peace. To take a moment or two for silent reflection, conversation, prayer, communion, and in that silence, what is it that you hear?
Words are found on page 30. May the words of my mouth and meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer.
I'd like to invite up proud parents Andrea and Sam Levy and Laura Beth and Danny Summerfield. Come on up. Girls, I'm going to have you come and just take a step right up here. Okay? You guys are going to come and just stand in front of your daughter. So the words that both sets of parents are about to offer are an amalgamation, a mashup from the Talmud, including some of the words that Cantor shared last night for her her goodbye. And who's first? Okay. And these words are from the sages of the Talmud, who were not just these wonderful spiritual masters, but also were parents. And to be able to take these words from them and bring them down through the many, many generations to share with your daughter today is nothing short of profound. Whenever you're ready.
May you live to see your world fulfilled. May your destiny be for worlds still to come. And may you trust in generations past and yet to be. May your heart be filled with intuition, and your words be filled with insight. May songs of praise ever be upon your tongue, and your vision be on a straight path before you.
May your eyes shine with the light of holy words, and your face reflect the brightness of the heavens. May your lips ever speak wisdom, and your fulfillment be in righteousness.
A Jewish home opens its heart, and its link to the generations is proclaimed. Today our child, nearly grown, is called to read from the Torah, and is welcomed to the congregation. May this moment be blessed.
Okay, hug, hug, kiss, kiss. Parents, please stay up here with us. We're going to invite up for Ark opening Alexis and Josh Chandler, Sarah and Daniel Levy, and Karen Levy to undress the Torah. So you'll stand over with Cantor. We're going to invite up Carrie Davidson and Alan Rosen. We'd invite grandparents to come on up. Ken Klein, Mark Levy, Lee Greenberg, Dottie Jutzi, and Jerry Summerfield. And of course, in spirit up here with us is Grandma Joanne Klein. Come on up, everybody. We are going to begin our Torah service, which you will find on page 32.
Please rise. El kamocha va'Elohim Adonai ve'en kema'asecha malchutecha malchut kol amim u'memshaltecha bechol dor v'dor Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed Adonai oz le'amoiten Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom Av harachamim heitiv v'virtzonecha et Zion Tivne chomot Yerushalayim Tivne chomot Yerushalayim Ki v'cha levar batachnu Melech Eram v'nisa Adon olamim Ki mitzion tetzei Torah Ki mitzion tetzei Torah Udvar Adonai Yerushalayim Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah Le'amo Yisrael B'kedushato.
So I want to start by saying something, and that is that all of the moving parts to get this extended family together for this Benot mitzvah comes down to right now. This is why you did it, for this moment right now. I applaud all of you for allowing these first cousins who are best friends to have this moment, this experience, this bat mitzvah together, because you are going to be connected even more because of this forever, for generations, forever. So it's a really big deal. Molly, how you doing? Good. Maren, how you doing? Good. So, ladies, you both and the Torah have something profound in common. and that is that you are both here because of decisions that came from the folks who came before you. And if you turn, you'll see your parents and grandparents. And if you look behind Grandpa, you're going to see Grandma, right? Here, yep, here in spirit. And behind them, if you look, you're going to see your great-grandparents and your great-great-greats. You know what I mean by that? You know what I mean by that? Yeah, and your parents do, and your grandparents certainly do. And we believe that the Jewish generations are here, that they are circling this sanctuary again and again and again. And Marin, Molly, they're smiling because of what we're doing, because of who you are, who you've become, all that had to happen for us to get here. It's a joyous occasion. It's such a big deal. And the emotions that come with it are wonderful. So now, symbolically, okay, I'm going to pass a Torah down and then pass a second Torah down, okay? Everybody gets a Torah, okay? So we're going to symbolically pass the Torah down, okay, through the generations. I'm going to pass Torah to Mom. Okay, now Molly, I want you to face Mom like this, okay, and put it right to her right shoulder. Whatever shoulder she wants is actually okay.
You got it.
Okay, you got it. Great. Okay, so turn this way, Just hang on to it. You're good. Okay. Oh, Marin, you get the heavy one. Okay, so we're passing the Torah down through the generations. To Dad. Got it? Okay, Marin, come face Dad. Okay, go ahead. You're going to put it right onto her shoulder. Okay. Okay, and slide right back over here. Slide back, Molly. Okay, whenever we're ready.
Beautiful. We are on the top of page 33 for the calling of our Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh. Shema, we face the ark. Gatzmul Adonai iti, uneromema Shemo yachdav.
And you're going to follow
Can
me.
I have my Torah undressers, please? Lecha Adonai hagedula v'hagevura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'haod ki hu b'shamayim uvaretz ki hu b'shamayim uvaretz lecha Adonai hamelacha v'hamitnaseh l'chol rosh romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishchavu lehar kocho romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishchavu lehar kocho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu yai ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu yai lai yai lai yai lai yai lai yai lai yai lai ya la 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 la, ya la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Wow. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Veishtachavu Lehar Kodesh. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Veishtachavu Lehar Kodesh. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu.
Please be seated. So, Molly and Maren are going to be chanting from Parshat Naso. And if you reach under your chairs, you're going to see two blue books. One of them says the Torah. And if you take out the one that says the Torah, I can tell you the page numbers to follow along. If you pull the other one up, I can't tell you the page numbers to follow along. So it's the one that says the Torah, and you want to turn to page 1043 in that book. This is Parshat Naso. So, just a show of hands, raise your hand if this is your first ever bar bat mitzvah. Great, you picked a good one. You picked a good one to come to. Keep your hands up if you will. Raise your hand if you've been to 10 or fewer bar bat mitzvahs. Keep your hands up. 100 or fewer bar bat mitzvahs. More than 100. Wow, okay. So whether this is your first one or you've been to more than 100, please do not forget what Maren and Molly are about to do is hard. It is chanting in the language that they don't speak natively, chanting in the original, without musical notes, without vowels. And the thought is that by lifting up their voices and lifting up the words from the scroll, that they actually bring a heightened sense of holiness into this sanctuary and into our lives. Cantor, over to you.
All right. There we go. Our first Torah reader is going to be Molly. So, Molly, come on up. And for the honor of the first Aliyah, we invite proud grandparents Lee and Wayne Greenberg, Ken Klein, Devin and Mark Levy. Ya'amdu li'arezo bat Yaakov, Zev Nachum ben Shalom Shachna Halevi, Coleman ben Eliezer Baruch, Mordechai Eliezer ben Label Moshe, La'aliyah la Torah.
Hamishkan ve'ohel mo'ed, umiser hatahash asher alav, milmalav ve'et masach petach ohel mo'ed, ve'et kolei hechatzer, ve'et masach petach sha'ar hechatzer, asher al hamishkan ve'al hamizbeach saviv, Ve'mitirehem, ve'et kol kelei avodatam, ve'et kol asher yaseh lehem avdu.
Torah Semet, V'chayei Olam Notav B'Tzorchenu, Baruch Atah Adonai, Noten HaTorah.
Okay, give her a nice hug and kiss. Can you stand on the other side? Yep, you stand right on the other side.
You're going to stand right over here. And while the hugging and kissing is happening, I am pleased to invite up very proud older sister and brother, Sydney and Jordy Levy. Ya'amdu Simcha Chana Bat Shmuel Meir ve'Esther Malka. Yaakov Baruch ben Shmuel Meir ve'Esther Malka la'aliyah Torah.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaBorach. Baruch Adonai HaBorach Le'olam. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Adonai noten HaTorah.
Tihiyeh kol avodat b'nei hagirishani l'chol masa'am u'l'chol avodatam u'kodatam alehem b'mishmeret et kol masa'am zot avodat mishpachot b'nei hagirishani ve'el ha'moed b'mishmeret b'yad Tamar ben Aharon ha'kohen.
Beautiful.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
As I call up for our third Aliyah, very proud mom and dad, Andrea and Sam. Ya'amdu Esther Malka bat Komen, Shmuel Meir ben Mordechai, la'aliyah Torah.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaBorach. Repeat it. Baruch Adonai HaBorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
Amen. B'nei Mirari le'mishpachotam levet avotam tivkodatam. Mi ben shalashim shana umala v'ad ben hamishim shana tivkodatam kol haba l'tzava la'avod avodat ha'moed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
All righty, Molly, you're going to go have a seat just for a moment. So I'm going to talk a little bit about why you're sitting, and I'm going to talk about half of it for you, and I'm going to save the other half for Marin, but you guys are really doing the whole thing. Okie dokie? So this is the moment that you are about to become a bat mitzvah. And that will happen as you rise and you walk to the Torah. You chant your blessings, you chant your Torah portion, and then you chant the blessings after. All of that is what transforms you into becoming a bat mitzvah. So why are we having you sit? The first part is so that you can physically demonstrate for us that elevation that you are making from a young girl to a young Jewish woman, active participant in our Jewish community. So this is part 1. You all will be waiting with bated breath for part 2. As Molly, it is my pleasure to ask you to come forward now as a bat mitzvah, and I will call your Hebrew name. Tamud ha-bachura bat mitzvah, Shoshana bat Shmuel Meir ve'Esther Malka la'aliyah LaTorah. And you're going to chant the blessings.
Baruch hu Adonai hamborach.
Baruch Adonai hamborach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vezot mishmeret masa'am l'chol avodatam be'ohel mo'ed kaishei hamishkan uvracha ve'amudah ve'adana ve'amudei hechatzer saviv ve'adnehem v'tidotam u'metirehem l'chol kilehem l'chol avodatam u'shemot tifkedu et kolei mishmeret masa'am zot avodat mishpachot b'nei Merari l'chol avodatam be'ohel mo'ed be'yad Itamar ben Aharon hakohen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah temet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Okay, wonderful. So, family, come on over this way. I want you to flank Molly, hands on her shoulders. I'm going to ask everyone to rise. Molly, wonderfully done. Really, just stay right there. With the open Torah and with your family and community around you, we're going to give you a special Misha Barak blessing for your continued spiritual growth. The idea is that today is a cornerstone for you, a spiritual cornerstone, something that you can always push off from, but always find your way back to. We'll do it in Hebrew than English. Misha Barak avotenu v'imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, hu yevarech et Mira, Shoshana, bat Shmuel Meir, ve'Esther Malka, shehagia lemitzvot la'alta l'Torah. Akados Baruch Hu, yismeireha v'chayeha, v'chinon et libat, lihiot shalem im Adonai Eloheha, l'hagot b'torato, l'lecha b'drachav, v'lishmor mitzvotav, v'tim sochen, v'seichel tov, v'nei Elohim v'adam v'nomar. Amen. May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless you, Molly, who's come up for an aliyah upon the age of mitzvot. May the Holy One guard you and sustain you, helping you to be wholehearted in your faith, studying God's Torah, walking in God's ways, and fulfilling God's mitzvot. May you find favor before God and all people, and we say, Amen. Amen. Please be seated, everyone. So you're going to do your Devar Torah now. So, at this point, once Molly gets some hugs from Dad, she's going to deliver her Devar Torah, which is really a sermon or a mini sermon. The idea is that the words that she's been studying about for the past many, many months is also something that she's going to pass on to us, not just the words, but her interpretation of all of this. So, Molly, whenever you're ready.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My Torah portion is now so from the book of Numbers. My portion mainly talks about the Nazarite vow, which is a set of strict rules a person must follow for a minimum of 30 days. The word Nazir or Nazirite means to separate oneself. Once someone takes the vow, they are under certain obligations, and she or he may not break them. Some examples of the rules are: you can't eat grapes, drink alcohol, or even bathe. The reason these rules exist is to attempt to get closer to God. Being a Nazir takes tremendous commitment. 30 days allows for reflection and the ability to clear your mind in a calm and peaceful setting. The Nazirite vow blesses us with no distractions and more time to think and stretch spiritually. There are pros and cons to being a Nazir. In my opinion, some of the most important pros are having no distractions, focusing on important things, thinking more clearly, empowerment of femininity, not having to care about your appearance, and the realization of taking things for granted. Knowing we take things for granted is only a reminder to advocate for ourselves, and more importantly, others. In my opinion, the most important cons to recognize about being a Nazir are taking yourself out of the community for your own good, excluding yourself from the public. In addition, you're weakening the togetherness of the community, not being able to see your friends and family, and no more joy from being surrounded by others. To understand the Nazirite vow better personally, I spent 15 minutes outside with no distractions. In fact, I spent 15 minutes without looking at my phone. Crazy, right? The first thing I thought of while spending this time was a phrase we sing at camp. Trees sway as we do, side by side, whoops, we grow. I never would think I would associate this phrase with the Nazirite Jew. However, it explains exactly how I felt. The leaves from the trees swaying, my hair blowing in the cold wind, with my shoes pressed against the spiky grass. I thought of camp and how relaxed I felt around nature. I even sang camp songs in my head. I suddenly felt more mature. I felt grown up and somehow wiser and had more dignity and confidence than before. When 15 minutes was up, I was surprised at how quickly the time had passed. My initial expectation was that the time would feel like 10 hours of torture, doing nothing but looking at trees. Instead of feeling hurt, torture, or boredom, it felt rather calming instead. In conclusion, being a Nazir for a short period of time was a positive experience, as it brought me closer to God through nature. Becoming a bat mitzvah means that I am now an adult, and I'm now a Jewish adult. After my bat mitzvah, I plan on being more involved in the Jewish community. For example, I plan to start BBYO or Nifty in high school. I will also continue to be part of Temple Emanu-El by becoming a madricha next year. I also plan to be a counselor at Camp Jenny, which brings me to my mitzvah project. For my mitzvah project, I chose to work with Camp Jenny. Camp Jenny was founded in 1988 in memory of Jenny Rosenthal, my cousin. Jenny tragically died at age 17 in a car accident in 1987. The purpose of Camp Jenny is to provide a weekend at Camp Coleman for impoverished children that attend the F.L. Stanton Elementary School. Camp Jenny works to provide kids who have never financially been able to go to camp to have the best summer camp experience of their lives. For my bat mitzvah project, Marin, me, and our friends and family painted 120 drawstring bags. These bags were given to the kids when they got to camp this past Memorial Day weekend. Camp Jenny relates to my Torah portion also, because it talks about the Nazirite vow and how it brings you closer to God through nature. The purpose of being at camp is to get away from everything and to just have fun and enjoy the outdoors. Thank you, Rabbi Spike and Miss Joanne, for realizing that I learned differently and that I might need more assistance than others. You both have been so supportive during this whole experience. Thank you to all my amazing friends, and especially my camp friends, for coming to celebrate this special day with me. Summerfields. Thank you so much. You really are like a second family to me, and you always show up when I need you. Mimi and Zadie, thank you so much for being such wonderful grandparents, especially Mimi for making this beautiful talit bag for this special day. Thank you so much, Pops. Thank you so much, Pops, for always being there. One of my most exciting memories is when I would go to Virginia Beach to see you and Grandma. We would go on long walks around the pond and watch Lassie battle with the turtles. Nana and Papa. Every time I see you, it's always the best. Whether it's seeing you in Hilton Head, Gulf Shores, or Columbus, there's no stopping me from laughing the entire time from your jokes. Even though you guys are not as good as me at sequence, I still love you. Thank you, Grandma. I know you're looking down on me right now and giving me one of those ecstatic, life-changing smiles. Even though I miss your banana splits and chocolate milk, I know you're always still there for me. Sydney. You really are a great sister. It doesn't matter if you're at FSU or at home, you're always down to watch The Circle or an All-American with me. And of course, giving me one of those life-changing talks. I love you. Jordy, I'm so proud of all you have accomplished. I really can't believe you're leaving to go to Israel in 2 months. Now I will have no one to help me with my math homework or meet me downstairs in the middle of the night raiding the fridge. Thank you so much. You really are the best brother I could have ever asked for. I love you. Dad, you're so funny and enthusiastic. I love playing games with you on our booty sushi and Cinnaholic nights, even though you still think I cheated in that dots game. Thank you so much for helping me with my Torah portion and prayers, even when I'm being difficult. I love you. Mom, you really are my idol. You're always on top of everything and are good at keeping me in line. You deal with me when I'm annoying and help me when I'm at my lowest. Whether it be watching Dancing with the Stars or American Idol together, you always know how to have fun with me. Thank you so much for making all of this happen, and most of all, just being my mom. I love you so much. Marin, you truly are my best friend in the whole world. I've never met someone that lights me up the way you do. I could never do this without you. Thank you so much for always being my shoulder to cry on and the one that makes me laugh the hardest. Thank you all for being here on this special day. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Beautiful. I don't think anybody doubts that we just heard from a young woman. All right, Molly, come on over this way. Marin, up we go. Good job, Molly. All right. So as Marin gets ready, so come right over here. So if you have your Torahs and you want to follow along with what Marin is reading, she's going to be chanting from Numbers 6, 4 through 12. And you'll find that on page, give me a second.
1058.
158. Thank you. 1058. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, one of the things, of course, that comes from Marin's piece is this idea that we are commanded to bless one another with love, including the priestly benediction, which we say not all the time, but often enough. And Marin's going to chant and then talk to us about those sacred words which have driven the Jewish civilization since time began. Cantor?
For the honor of our first Aliyah, we call to the Bima proud grandparents, Dottie and Jim Justy, Ken Klein, Helen and Jerry Summerfield. Ya'amdu Dvorah bat Albert, Kalman ben Eliezer Baruch, Gershon ve'Huda, La'aliyah Torah.
Nice and close, everybody. Nice and close. It's Baruch. One on three. 1, 2, 3.
Baruch Adonai Havarach.
Baruch Adonai Havarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Havarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher b'charbanu mikol ha'amim. V'nosan lanu es torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Kol yemei nizro mikol asher veyasech migefen hayayin mehartzanim ve'ad tzag lo yohel. Kol yemei neder nizro ta'ar lo ya'avor al rosho ad melot hayamim asher yazir la'adonai kadosh yiheh gadel para sha'ar rosho.
Yasher Koach. Beautiful. All right.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emes, v'chayei olam nata b'sachenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Okay, give her a nice hug and a kiss.
And then you all can stand right over here to your left. While I call up our honors for the second Aliyah, we call up your aunt and uncle, Edie and Rob Disner. Ya'amdu, Ruvain Baruch, Edina Ronit Bat Gershon Udvora, La'aliyah la Torah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Kol yemei haziro la'Adonai, al nefesh meit lo yavo, le'aviv ulimo, le'aviv ulahoto, lo yitama, lahem b'motam, ki nizer Elohav, al rosho.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
And for the honor of our third Aliyah, we call your family, mom, dad, and older brother, Laura Beth, Danny, and Jake. Ya'amdu li'abracha bat Kalman, Levi ben Gershon udvora, Yaakov Noam ben Levi, v'li'abracha la'aliyah la Torah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Kol yemei nizro kadosh hu la'Adonai, vehi yimut meit Elohav, al befetach pitaom, vetamei rosh nizro, vegala rosho, bayom tacharato, bayom hashvi, vegalahenu.
Beautiful. All right, family.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
So now it's your turn to have a seat. And you all get to find out the second part of this Aliyat HaTorah, what it means to ascend to the Torah. So, Marin, this is the moment that you now will become a bat mitzvah. And as you saw Molly demonstrate that physical ascension to the Torah, that movement into becoming a young adult, an active participant in our Jewish community, there's a second part that happens when you come up to the Torah. So, Molly, this happened to you just a moment ago, and Marion, this is about to happen to you, is that there is something very special called Aliyat HaNefesh, an ascension of the soul. And so this movement that you do physically from your chair to the Torah also allows you to elevate in a higher and also in a deeper spiritual way. That you become more connected to God and the Jewish people, your heritage and your history. But not only that, Molly, what you did just a few minutes ago, and Marion, what you're about to do, is you also give us the gift of that Aliyat HaNefesh, that ascension of the soul. So in the two of you becoming Benot Mitzvah, you also give us an opportunity to grow higher and deeper and more connected spiritually and Jewishly. So Marion, it is my pleasure now to call you forward as a bat mitzvah. Talmud habahura bat mitzvah, ma'ira rizal bat levi v'leah bracha, la'aliyah LaTorah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah. Amen. Uvayom hashmini yavi shitei torim, o shnei b'nei Yonah, el hakohen, el petach, ohel moed, ve'asa hakohen, ehad lechatat, ve'ehad le'olah, ve'hiper alav, me'asher hata al hanafesh, ve'kidash et rosho, bayom chahu, ve'hizi la'adonai et shemei nizro, ve'hevi keves ben shinato, la'asham ve'hayamim harishonim, yiplu ki tamei nizro. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'hayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah. Amen.
Okay. Everyone, please rise. Marion, we're giving you this special Misha Barak blessing in front of the open Torah and in front of a community that stands in your honor because of the honor that you brought us. And so the special Misha Barak gets us to this spiritual cornerstone for you, this idea that you remember right now, this moment, as you move forward in your life, a way to always find a way back to, but also have the momentum and the confidence that comes from being a bat mitzvah in front of an open Torah right now. Misha Berach, Avotenu, Vimotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, Hu Yivarech, Et, Meira, Razel, Bat, Levi, Leah, Bracha, Shehagia mitzvot la'alta Torah, Hakadosh Baruch Hu Yismeireha v'chayeha, v'chonon et liba lihiyot shalem im Adonai Eloheha. L'hagop b'torato le'lecha b'drachav v'lishmor mitzvotav v'tem sochen v'sechel tov B'nai Elohim v'Adam v'nomar, Amen. May God, who blessed our forefathers and foremothers, bless you, Maren, who's come up for an aliyah upon the age of mitzvot. May the Holy One guard you and sustain you, helping you to be wholehearted in your ways, studying God's Torah, walking in God's ways, and fulfilling God's mitzvot. May you find favor before God and all people. And to that we say, Amen. Okay, please be seated. And Maren, you're going to share your Devar Torah, your mini sermon. And in doing so, lift the words off the page.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My Torah portion is Naso from the book of Numbers. My Torah portion tells the story of how God formed a good community and a healthy society. God told Moses to take a census or account of all of the people in the community. The census showed the people's strengths and weaknesses, what they were good at, who could build, who could cook, teach, and draw. Each individual had something to offer to the whole group. In order to keep everyone safe and healthy, God then told Moses to send away men and women that were unclean with disease. They were quarantined outside of camp, much like COVID patients are sent away from their families. They were allowed back once they were healthy. Just like our current judicial system, if a person sinned, they had to acknowledge what they did wrong and do something to make it right. An example from biblical times would be if a woman cheated on her husband, she would be forced to drink bitter waters. If she were innocent, she wouldn't mind drinking the bitter waters because nothing bad would happen to her. But if she had sinned, her belly would swell. The priestly benediction that we hear at every B'nai Mitzvah was created in my Torah portion. It goes like this: May God bless and keep you. May God's face shine upon you. May God be gracious to you and give you peace. While it wasn't a big part of my parsha, I thought it was important to point it out. Finally, my portion jumps to how Moses made the Mishkan holy. The Mishkan is a sanctuary that was constructed as a place of worship for the Israelites, people who brought offerings like animals to sacrifice to God. Moses spoke to God inside the Mishkan. In general, my portion teaches us how to build a healthy and trusting community. It begins with the foundation of understanding the people within the community and making most of their skills. God commanded the people to follow rules in order to keep peace amongst themselves. We all know the 10 Commandments, like do not steal, do not cheat on your spouse, and do not kill. Do not take God's name in vain. Because God shaped the Israelites before they entered the Promised Land, we had a foundation that had stood the test of time. To this day, I believe Temple Emanu-El is a perfect example of a sacred community. This place is like my second home. The people here make it so special, including all the clergy. They make it all feel like I'm surrounded with people who I can really trust. The congregation shows me that they care by always making me feel seen and heard. Whenever we find a community, we should try to make it a sacred one by being nice to others and strive to make good memories with each other. Adding to that, we should always try to make everyone around us feel special. This is especially true when someone isn't feeling included or when someone is new to our community. Just like Moses had tasks for everyone to help build a community, we all have a better role to play in our synagogue to make it good for today and better for the future. By becoming a bat mitzvah, I am now an adult in the Jewish community. To show that I am proud of my identity, I wear a Jewish star around my neck to let everyone know who I really am. I also plan to continue to put on a talit when I'm reading from the Torah. My Judaism is important to me because of my experience here at Temple Emanu-El and at Camp Judea. I started here at Temple Emanu-El at Shift Preschool, and I am still learning with the Diamond Family Religious School. I've been at Camp Judea since Rishonim 7 years ago, and I hope to become a counselor in the future. I will still participate in synagogue life by going to Friday night services. Hopefully, one day I will have a chance to go to Israel. A Jewish value that is important to me is the havarut, or friendship. My friendships have supported me in learning to read from the Torah and helping to lead this service today. Knowing that my friends have gone through these same experiences makes me feel good. The love and support of my friends encourages me, and I hope I provide the same kindness to my friends too. I believe that my relationship with the state of Israel is strong because of my experience at Camp Judea. My friends also hosted an Israeli Shinshini, Alma Shoshani, this past year who brought Israel inside our home every day. As I mentioned before, I hope to visit Alma and her family in Israel one day soon. Molly and I shared a fun and rewarding mitzvah project together. Along with our friends, we decorated drawstring bags for the campers at Camp Jenny and for children who come from urban schools in Atlanta who might not otherwise have a chance to go to camp. Not only are the drawstring bags useful for them to hold their stuff, they can also help the kids feel bonded, not like strangers, more like a community. There were a lot of people who helped me make it to this day. To all my local friends and incredible camp friends, thank you for being here and always standing by my side. You make me smile and laugh. I love y'all. To my tutor, Joanne, thank you for preparing me for this day and having fun on Zoom. I'm grateful for your patience and help. Rabbi Spike and Cantor Desnick, thank you for pushing me to my limit for all these years. Thank you, Rabbi Rachel and Rabbi Max, for help with this Devar Torah and your guidance to better understand my parsha. Molly, we did it. We are finally a Benot Mitzvah. It took some time, but now we are officially Jewish adults. But we will always act like 4-year-olds. If I haven't told you enough, I love you, and I'm so proud of you and what we did together. I love that we were so close. Aunt Andy, Uncle Sammy, Aunt Edie, and Uncle Rob get lots of thanks too. They are the most supportive people in my life. I don't think I could have made it without all of you. Dada and Grandpa, thank you for always making me feel special. Dada, you make the best sweet treats, and I love being in the kitchen with you. Grandpa, you are always welcome for your birthday card. I love you both. Mimi and Papa, thank you for giving me the love that we share for the lake. I can't wait to make memories with you up on the skis. Love you. Pops, I love that you come to all my cheer games, and I'm so lucky to have you so close. I love you. Grandma, you are one of the most important and strongest women I know. While you've been gone for almost 3 years, I know you are here with us today, cheering with pride for me and Molly. I miss you so much. Jake, you're an okay brother. Sometimes you are mean, but we also have our good moments. I love making fun memories with you, like pushing you into the cold lake water. You finally heard me chant the Ve'ahavta. Mom, we have gone through our ups and downs, and now I can stand here to say thank you for everything that you have pushed me to do up to now. You always encourage me. I love you. Dad, first off, I love spending time with you watching sports. Thanks for being my Uber driver to all my friends' houses. You make me laugh 24/7. I don't really like studying for tests and quizzes, but you make it fun and memorable. Thank you, but I still don't like studying for tests. Thanks for all being here. Shabbat Shalom.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Okay, Molly, come on up here also. Friends, we're going to rise. We just heard from 2 young Jewish women. I'm going to invite up Honey Maisel to dress the Torah as we rise and lift it on page 36, followed by, I'm actually going to also invite up Drew and Chase Hattendorf and Ariella and Michael Rosen to open the ark when we get to page 39.
V'zot Torah asher Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael api Adonai b'yad Moshe. Who are my dressers? Yalai lai lai lai, yalai lai 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 lai, yalai lai 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 lai, yalai lai lai lai, yalai lai 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 lai, yalai lai 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 lai. Beautiful. Its Chaim is found on page 39. Its Chaim lama chazikim ba v'tomechecha meushar dirachecha darchenu Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh, Chadesh Yamenu Chadesh
And you're going to close the ark.
Yamenu
Ready?
Kekedesh.
Go ahead and close the ark. Wonderful. Beautiful, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated, except for our bat mitzvahs. You're going to stand right like this, and they're going to look at Cantor. So Cantor and I have said this many times. As Rabbi and Cantor at Temple Emanu-El, our most favorite thing is what we've been doing with you the past many months and years, which is getting to know you on a deep level, hanging out with you, studying Torah Lishma, study for the sake of higher thought, higher thinking, having you teach us, and growing together. It is a profound honor to be doing this with both of your families. Cantor and I are both close with both of your families and have been since the moment that each of us came here to Temple Emanu-El. Molly, I'll start with you and then Maren. So, Molly, one of the things that people like you and me need to remember is that even sometimes when the world's like this and we're looking at it like this, that when we figure out what makes us tick and what makes us strong, all of a sudden we're blowing by the pack. And the hope for today was not only were you going to lead Dayenu, that's a lot, but you were going to gain a tremendous sense of confidence and momentum, that there's something hard that doesn't come naturally, but that with time and attention and perseverance and love and support, that you can do it. And you take the success from today and you apply it to the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. And that success helps your family, you and your aspirations, your community, and the world. So my hope for you and my blessing for you is remember this, use this, and let it take you to where it may. Okay? Maren, the depth of your thinking when it comes to your Torah portion is wonderful. And we have had a tremendous time watching you grow over the last couple of years, not just in your thinking, but in what we call charisma. Yours is a quiet charisma, okay, which means that you're not always the loudest person in the room. And yet, when anybody watches you, they see that people gravitate towards you. There's a natural charisma and leadership. My hope is, and my blessing is, you take that depth and you take that charisma, and that, like Molly, you use it, you remember it, you go forward with it for the sake of good in the world. You see all around you all sorts of conflicting messages. Do this, don't do this. You two are dealing with peer pressure in a way that the adults in the room have long forgot, but it is a powerful thing. My hope is for you, Maren, for both of you, is that when you are faced with some of these conundrums that peer pressure brings, that you remember that you've got 5,000 years of Jewish tradition, encouraging you to choose right, choose safe, choose healthy, so that you can continue forward and bring the rest of us with you. Both of you are an inspiration. Your friendship and your love for each other is an inspiration and something that all of us aspire to have and to give to our kids and our family. I love you both. I'm psyched to have you both here so much, and I'm looking forward to whatever's next.
Molly and Maren. So this blessings charge I'm about to give you today is really just so special for me because this is the last blessing / charge I will be giving as the cantor of Temple Emanu-El. But I qualify that because I will always be your cantor and your family's cantor wherever I am. Both of your families are so very special to me. And just like the two of you are so close, my first memory of meeting the Levy Summerfield clan was at a Tashlich service after my very first Rosh Hashanah here. And I don't remember who spoke first, but the two of you both came up at the same time. And I was like, oh my gosh, you guys know how to have fun, and you clearly just showed so much passion for Temple Emanu-El. And I was instantly, it just felt so drawn in to both of your families. And that is what I see in the relationship with the two of you. And it has just been such a joy to watch you grow up from this high, which I really did, into these beautiful young women that stand before me today and before this kahal, this holy congregation. And I want to point out something that's really interesting in how you balance each other. And I think how each of you brings out really the highest good and the best in each other. So Molly, in your Torah portion, you talked about this amazing exercise that you did, this practice of what it might be like to be a Nazir. Interestingly enough, many generations, many thousands of years later, Rav Nachman of Braslav, a Hasidic rabbi, kind of took that being out in nature, and that was his spiritual practice. And many people practice it today. It's called hitbodedut. You go out in nature, and you have a conversation with God. And yeah, it's really scary at first, right? And so you really talked about this internal holiness, sense of spirituality and connection that we can build. So my charge for you is that you always come back to that center. Because so many times, so many times we move away from that center, which is fine, that's normal. And it's that returning. God always, when we turn back, will be there for us. So I want you to may you always remember that. And Marin, you really talked about this external sense of holiness. What we are to do in creating holy community and friendship, and that you created friendship through learning Torah and through bringing mitzvot out into the world through your mitzvah project, and really being so sensitive to the needs of your community around you. So my blessing for you, my charge for you, is that you always come back to that as your center, because that too is a deep spiritual practice of connection, not only with your community, but with God. And that each of you continue to be in that amazing, beautiful sisterhood, cousinhood that you have. So that, Molly, when you need that external world, Marin, you're right there. And then Marin, when you need to come back inside, Molly, you're there for her. Mazel tov. I love you both, and I love your families so much. I'm so proud of you.
So now, we'll ask everyone to rise, please. And take a step towards us, please, ladies. So we are all going to give you the priestly benediction, which comes from your Torah portion, and take in this scene. Torah's to one side, your sacred community on the other, surrounded by the symbols of your religious tradition, underneath the Ner Tamid, and here we are giving you the Torah blessing that comes from your Torah portion. It's all just so perfect.
Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha
God's countenance shine upon you and be gracious to you.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך shalom.
May God's face turn towards you and grant you the greatest gift of all, what you have right now, surrounded by love and support, your whole lives ahead of you, a sense of wholeness, completeness, and peace. And we say, Amen. Please be seated unless you are parents of either Marin or Molly, and then you come on up. Danny and Laura Beth, I think you're first. Okay, so Molly, you're going to go sit with your parents. You guys are going to sit right over there, and Marin, you're going to come nice and close. We can move that.
Yeah, we get to be first. I don't have to follow Sam.
Here, I'll take that. What is that? It says he doesn't want to follow you.
First, Mazel Tov, Molly. We're so proud of you and look forward to the amazing things still to come in your life and watching you to continue to grow. We love you very much. Marin, it's not often that we as your parents get to stand in front of all your loved ones, your friends, family, and embarrass you. So we decided it would be appropriate for us to take this opportunity and do a little TikTok, a little jiggle jiggle. As we stand in front of our congregation, our family and friends, we're truly beaming with pride. We can only hope that you are as proud of yourself as we are of you and of your accomplishments to date. Successfully becoming a bat mitzvah is the icing on the cake for the educational journey you've been on. Wow is the best word we could come up with. You simply amaze us. All the extra work you put into this, the studying, reading, learning, has certainly paid off. We knew this wasn't going to be easy, as learning can sometimes be quite the challenge, but you did it, you earned this, you deserve this, and you knocked it out of the park. 13 years ago, our lives were changed for the better when you came into this world. It took only 16 minutes. Since that time, you've been a force to be reckoned with. You've always enjoyed a little friendly competition, whether it's who's the fastest in a race, who can win at Just Dance, who can win around a horse, or around the world. No matter what the situation, you are competitive, you are fierce. Keep that fire inside you, Marin. Harness it, embrace it, and put it to good use. This world needs a fighter like you to make it a better place. Like God commanded Moses to create a connected and viable community, we are confident you will contribute to this sacred community with your sunny personality, your wild imagination, and your ability to love large with all your heart. May you always look to take care of those around you and show compassion to those in need. A trait we believe came from your grandma, who is cavelling from above. Our wish for you is to continue to flourish at home, at school, and here at Temple Emanu-El with your Judaism. We love you very much. Mazel Tov with all our hearts. And happy birthday, Spike.
First of all, to the Summerfield family, it's been great meeting you and getting to know you the past few months.
He couldn't wait to say it.
It worked. I've been debating it all day. Who could have predicted 13 years ago that today would become a reality? And it's been truly a unique opportunity to share in this joyous occasion with you. It's something we'll always treasure. Marin, you performed beautifully, and we are so proud of you. We feel very lucky that you and Molly are so close and in so many ways have been your entire lives. It's truly a special bond that you two have, and I encourage you to always grow together. To Spike, happy 50th, my friend. I can't even fathom the idea of turning 50. But we are honored that you are spending your special day with us on our Simcha. This temple and our families are so fortunate to have you here as our spiritual leader and our friend. Thank you. Dear Molly, words can't describe how proud Mom and I are of you. You've worked so hard, you've overcome obstacles, and you have shined. But we aren't just proud of your accomplishments today, we are in awe of the amazing woman you have become. You are fun, sweet, smart, spunky, and you happen to be the best TikTok dancer I know. I cherish our time together, how we can laugh, have game competitions, which I normally win, or just hang out and watch the shows together. Simply put, you are awesome, and we are so blessed. You have an amazing relationship with both Sydney and Jordy, one that Mom and I are very thankful for. You mentioned in your Devar Torah that you plan to give back to the Jewish community. Sometimes these are just words, but we know you mean it and turn these words, we know you'll turn these words into action. You can look no further as an example of contributing more than your brother and sister. Jordy has thrived in his involvement with BBYO, Camp Judea, and Camp Jenny, and Sydney has prospered in her involvement with Camp Jenny, Save a Child's Heart, and Camp Judea. Both were Madrachim here at Temple Emanu-El. But notice, they didn't just get involved, that they go above and beyond to have an impact. I know, you want me to hurry up, I'll finish it up in a second. Almost done. And that, this includes driving someone to their first ever BBYO event or dedicating an entire Camp Jenny weekend to change the life of just one child. That's the example we want you to take from them. You can make a difference. You can strengthen our Jewish community. You can improve the lives of those less fortunate than you. You will find your path, and with you, Molly, the sky is the limit. When you put your mind to something, watch out. Amazing things happen. Mazel tov, and know that we are so proud of you.
First, I'd like to wish Maren and the Summerfield family a mazel tov. I wouldn't want to share this with anyone else. Maren, you did a big thing today, and you did it very well. You should be so proud of yourself, and as I know, it hasn't been easy, and you worked so hard. And I'm sure it helps to have a friend by your side. What a dream to see you two girls on this bema together. You are both a picture of beauty that we hoped for but never imagined. Grandma and Pops holding the twins when you were both newborn. And here we are 13 years later. Perfection in a bottle. Hold it tight, girls. Molly. A quote from none other than a country band, Rascal Flatts. I hope the days come easy and the moments pass slow, and each road leads you where you want to go. And if you're faced with the choice and you have to choose, hope you choose the one that means the most to you. And if one door opens to another door closed, hope you keep on walking till you find the window. If it's cold outside, show the world the warmth of your smile. But more than anything, my wish for you is that this life becomes all that you want it to. Your dreams stay big and your worries stay small. You never need to carry more than you can hold. And while you're out there getting where you're getting to, hope you know somebody loves you. And I want the same things too. Yeah, this is my wish. Molly, I wish for you all those things and more. I'm so proud of you and all the work you've put forth in preparing for today. Grandma and Pops told me when I was standing in your shoes, if you can do this, you can do anything. And just listen to Grandma when she says, and you did it. You are our wish come true, our cherry on top, and our period to our family sentence. You are our blessing, and we love you. Mazel tov.
Stay up here. Let's hold this. Summerfields, if you'll come on over here, and let's get Sid and Jordy and Jake to come on up also. Yep, come on up, everybody. Okay. Bat mitzvah girls, will you lead us up to the ark? We're going to ask everyone to rise, please, for Elenu on page 40. So Molly, you and Maren, come on up, lead us up there. Family, follow right behind. We're going to open the ark together.
Alenu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'teit gedula le'otzer bereshit, shelo asanu kigoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kimishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, v'gor alenu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu koreim, u'mishachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'ne'emar, V'haya Adonai, L'melech al kol haaretz, Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, U'shemo
Close the ark. And everyone can be seated. Family, right up to the bima together, please. Yes, stay right there. Friends, we're about to embark on the Mourner's Kaddish on page 41 and begin to conclude our service. The Mourner's Kaddish is the prayer that we say to remember those who have been so special to us in years past, who we have loved and have loved us back. Your family especially remembers today Maren and Molly's grandma, Joanne Rosenklein, as well as Edeline Bensinger, Jane Levy and Albert Hattendorf, Joyce and Ben Klein, Anne and Lou Levy, Robin Levy, Muriel and Sidney Rosen, Jenny Rosenthal, Adele and Jake Rosh. If you are in the Shloshim period of mourning, the first 30 days after a loved one's passing, we invite you to rise now and be recognized. Please remain standing. If you're in the first year of mourning, a loved one's passing, we invite you to rise now and be recognized. Please remain standing. If you are commemorating the yahrzeit, the death anniversary of a loved one's passing this Shabbat, we ask you to rise now and be recognized. Please remain standing. And if it is your custom to rise, either in solidarity or for the 6 million who have no one to say Kaddish for them, please do so now. Take a moment and think of that person or people you're saying Kaddish for. Picture them healthy and strong and vibrant. Picture the light shining on them in a particular way. Their eyes turn towards you. Your gaze meets theirs, and slowly you begin to smile. Mourner's Kaddish, page 41. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shmei Rabbah Ve'alma divrach hirotei ve'amlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lomei amayam. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit raman v'yit naseh. Vita dar, vita le, vita la, shmei dekucha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'charta v'nechamata, damiram be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'imru mav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. Family, shuffle to your left, please. We are going to say Kiddush, and we have these fancy Kiddush cups for our bat mitzvah girls. Okay, 1, 2. And we have Kiddush cups. There we go, everybody. We take one and pass it right on down. Can't you take one? Go ahead.
Is there enough for me? Okay.
Go ahead. And we will be sanctifying the day and one another and this amazing experience together.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim. L'chaim l'bracha, to life with blessings. Okay.
All righty. We'll take these. Okay, you guys hold the bottom. Beautiful. We do a little voila hala.
Oh, look at that.
Look at those. All righty, and we break bread together as a community and take inspiration from the two of you, Molly and Marin. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Simei tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simei tov, simei tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simei tov, simei tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simei tov. Yeilanu, 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 Ubechol Yisrael. Yeilanu, Yeilanu, Ubechol Yisrael. Yeilanu, Yeilanu, Ubechol Yisrael. Yeilanu, Yeilanu, Ubechol Yisrael. Mazel tov, everybody. Shabbat shalom. Hey, thanks, Laurie. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Hang on.